This is Change Your Mindset Podcast, the podcast that helps change your life by helping change the mindset of the 99% into the 1% mindset. Here's your host, Adrian Gomez.
Welcome back, everybody, to Change Your Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Gomez. So, in this podcast, we know there's a lot of crazy things that are happening in the United States, unfortunately. There's a lot of crazy things going on. But we also need to realize what's also going on outside this country. And obviously, you need to financially know what's going on outside because there are big problems outside this country that most of us aren't aware of. So if you don't know what the Brics countries are, their countries are formed by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So the thing with this is, as we all know, the US dollar is the world currency. It's accepted everywhere and everyone uses it because technically the USA is the dominant power in the world. But now the Brics countries are gathering together, and they're also gathering more and more countries together, and they're creating their own currency to compete with the dollar and obviously overtake the dollar. The reason for this is, as we all know, your currency is probably backed up by gold. But now, a lot of people don't like the US and their dollars because, as we all know, we just print out money. There's nothing backing this money. There's no gold behind this money. We just keep printing it over and over and over. And obviously, a lot of countries don't like this because they know these dollars are worth this, and we're giving it to them for exchange, whether it's being work, supplies, whatever it is. We're giving them all these dollars that we can print, and we can create these dollars infinitely. And these countries know that, and they hate it because they know we're just giving them paper for exchange for commodities from them. And they hate it because they know we can just do this without any questions asked. And these BRICS countries don't like that because the dollar is useless and they don't want it anymore. So right now, these BRICS countries are creating their own currency, and their currency is actually backed up by gold. That's why a lot of these countries are hoarding gold and getting more and more gold, for their currency is actually backed by something. And more of these countries are joining BRICS because they know the dollar, there's nothing behind it, and we just keep printing it. And they obviously don't like that. So more countries are joining the BRICS nation. So let's start from the beginning, how the dollar became the world currency and why a lot of people hate it now. So after World War II, obviously the US became the world power, the most dominant country in the world. And when Nixon was president, we used to be on a gold standard. So every dollar we had, there was actually gold backing behind it. But once Nixon took us off the gold standard, there's no gold backing behind it, and we could just print as much as we wanted. And unfortunately, that's where we are now, and that's why we're pretty much fighting inflation right now because of that reason. And the reason why the world currency is the dollar bill is because Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has the most oil, and we all know they are the richest country in the world because they have so much oil. And we made a deal with them. The U.S. made a deal with Saudi Arabia that we will protect them from any foreign invaders if the only currency they took is the dollar. And we all know oil is the biggest commodity in the world, and everyone needs it, and that's why Saudi Arabia is so rich, because they have mass loads of oil. So the thing is, for 48 years, Saudi Arabia only accepted US dollar, which made us the world currency. And as of January, Saudi Arabia minister announced that they are opening to trading other currencies. So what that means is that the dollar isn't at the top anymore, since they are now accepting other currencies besides the dollar, which hurts the US because that's what made us at the top. The reason for this decision Saudi Arabia would make, there's a lot of reasons possibly that I've researched. One reason is because we took our troops out of Afghanistan and we're no longer protecting them. So they realize if they're not going to protect Afghanistan, what makes them think that we're going to protect them? So, and they see how the U.S. is being run right now, and they're not very confident that they will be protected by the United States. That's why, obviously, they have China next door, obviously, probably saying the same thing, that that they're going to protect them, and that the US dollar is obviously something they all don't want anymore because we just keep printing it out. So the most thing you need to realize about this, that we all know that China wants to be the new world power, and they want this Brics currency to be overthrow the dollar. So the scary thing about this is China is wanting Iran and Saudi Arabia into the Brics nation. And the thing about this is that should concern you because Iran and Saudi Arabia has been enemies for the longest. And for them to come together and possibly join the Brics nation, that's to terrify you. And it's to terrify that the money you have as in dollars. Because if they join Brics nation and they have Saudi Arabia, which has the most oil in the world, the dollar can possibly go way down and obviously not be the world currency anymore, and your money will be more worthless than it already is since we just keep printing it out. So these are things that are happening outside the United States. Like I said, we have a lot of crazy things that are happening inside this country that is insane, and I still can't believe to say that's going on. But like I said, you need to realize what's happening outside this country. And that's why I always say it's always important to financially educate yourself. Because like I said, being the best version of yourself, physically, mentally, financially, it helps you in a long way. A lot of people don't even know about this that I'm probably telling you about. A lot of people just live in a bubble, unfortunately, and they don't even know what's going on in their surroundings. And I always say it's very important to financially educate yourself. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. This is obviously not financial advice. This is just financial education. So one way you can combat what's going on right now, if this possibly happens and this Brics currency becomes the new currency of the world, and obviously the dollar won't be the world currency anymore, how do you protect yourself from this? So there's a couple of ways. People invest in crypto. Obviously, that's up to you if you're into crypto or not. I mean, that's a decision you have to make. Obviously, it's a risk because it still hasn't been established. But, people want to keep the money in crypto instead of the dollars for a reason like this. But do your own due diligence for crypto, because I'm not an expert on crypto. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. But one thing that is very important that you can do, possibly, if you decide to, like I said, up to you, your money, you decide to do what you want, is since the beginning of time, gold and silver have always been money, no matter what. Since the beginning of time, we always use gold and silver as currency. Till this day, we still do. And the reason for that is, till this day, the whole world, anywhere you go, more than likely they will accept silver and gold because that's real money. And you can't make it. And obviously, it's physical. You can have it in your hand. There's actually something backing it because it's actual silver and gold. It's not like paper money, which is just pretty much paper. And usually if it's the dollar, there's nothing backing it anymore. It's gold and silver. And that's accepted everywhere. So that's how you can hedge against if the dollar does collapse. Right now, you're probably seeing that gold and silver is pretty low. And during inflation, it's supposed to be higher right now. Obviously, right now, they're suppressing this precious metal because if gold and silver goes up, the dollar goes down. And obviously they don't want that. They want the dollar up. So they have to suppress gold and silver to make the dollar look stronger than it really is. And like I said, if this does happen and the dollar is no longer the world currency, which is starting to look like that, unfortunately, because like I said, the US is looking weaker and weaker now. And with these Brics nations gathering together, and obviously they actually have their currency is actually backed up by real gold, it's not looking good for the dollar. That's what I'm saying. If the dollar does collapse, you have gold, and if you do possibly have gold and silver, obviously that's physical assets, and you can still buy something with that as well. And the thing about that gold and silver is the currency, it maintains its value throughout the whole world. So if gold is $2,000, throughout the whole world is $2,000, no matter where you go. And that would be considered the spot price. If you don't know what the spot price means, is that's the market value throughout the whole world for either silver or gold. So whatever the price is, if it's $2,000, like I said, throughout the whole world, that is the spot price. It will be accepted as $2,000 throughout the whole world, no matter what currency. Because like I said, gold and silver is real money. It's physical. You can't make more of it, and it's accepted everywhere. Like I said, the dollar isn't real money. It's paper. There's nothing backing it anymore, and we just keep printing it out. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of these countries don't like that because we can just print it out and we just give them paper. And that's why all these Brics countries are getting together and creating their own currency to obviously overthrow the dollar. And like I said, their currency, they actually have gold backing their money. So their money is actually worth something because there's something actually backing it. Unfortunately, not like the US dollar. Since we came off the gold standard, nothing's backing anymore. There's no gold backing the US dollar. Like I said, I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but you need to financially educate yourself. It's very important nowadays. And you need to know what's going on with this as well because, like I said, a lot of things are happening right now. A lot of people don't even know about. And most of the stuff you won't even hear on the news, unfortunately. But like I said, you always have to educate yourself, protect yourself no matter what. And every day you just got to keep self-educating yourself no matter what. Because the more knowledgeable you are, the better you are protecting yourself. Because what's to come, who knows? But like I said, it's not looking good. Because like I said before, we are in the recession, whether they say we aren't or are. Technically, we are. And you can see that with what happened recently with the Silicon Valley Bank. Obviously, it collapsed because the Fed is obviously increasing rates, and that's one bank that's collapsed. Is there more to come? Possibly. We will see. But like I said, times are getting tougher. You need to financially educate yourself. You need to know what's going on in this country and outside this country. And like I said, I'm doing my best to give you guys whatever I know. And like I said, I research this all the time. And my goal is obviously for you to be the best version of yourself, physically, mentally, financially. Because like I said, even in this country, that's pretty much frowned upon, which I think is absurd and crazy. And obviously, like I said, they don't want you to be the best versions of yourself. They don't even want you to work out anymore. They don't want you to make money. They don't even want you to be happy anymore. It's insane and it's sad what's going on right now in this country. And I know a lot of people are struggling, and there needs to be more positivity, and people just need to go out there and get it because, unfortunately, in society, it's against you right now, more now than ever. And you just got to keep going. Like I said, you got to educate yourself, financially educate yourself because right now it's very important before everything escalates. Like I'm talking to you about this, you need to educate yourself. You need to know what to do with your money because you don't want to be at the end of the day when the time comes, you don't want to be surprised and be like, I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know what was going on. And bam. And like I said, a lot of people nowadays in this country don't even know what's happening because obviously they listen to the news, but the news doesn't tell you everything anymore, unfortunately. They spread a lot of negativity. And that's why I said it's very important nowadays to educate yourself because people can't think for themselves anymore. Like I said in the earlier podcast, we need more independent thinkers. You have to start thinking for yourself, and you can't believe everything you're told anymore because nowadays people just believe what they're told. They don't do their own research, and that's it. They just believe whatever they're told, and that's insane. And everything I tell you in this podcast, I 100% support you do your own research, and if you don't believe me, you can research this yourself. Everything I told you about the currency, you can literally look this up yourself, and you'll find the same exact results. And I support that whether you believe me or not. I'm totally fine with it because we need people to start doing their own research and stop believing everything they're told. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just a guy with a microphone doing a podcast trying to help people and help them be the best version of themselves. But at the end of the day, some people have sinister plans, unfortunately, and a lot of people are getting taken advantage. I see it a lot, unfortunately. You just gotta do your own research, educate yourself, and come to your own conclusion. At the end of the day, this podcast episode is for you to help maintain your money because I don't want people losing their money because if the dollar goes down and you lose all the hard money you work for. Like I said, I'm not telling you what to do, but the one way you can hedge against this is by silver and gold because like I said, for the beginning of time, silver and gold had always been real money. It's physical money. You can have it in your hand, and it always maintains its value no matter what. It doesn't deteriorate, it lasts forever, and that's always been money since the beginning of time. So if you want to protect your money, that's one option, is to buy silver and gold. In some places, if you don't believe me, a lot of people are already doing this themselves, is that if you look on certain websites where you can buy gold and silver, and I'm not recommending because I'm not affiliated or I'm not telling you where to invest your money. Obviously, you need to do your own research and see where there are good places to buy silver and gold. But like I said, if you look on these websites, there's a good amount of gold and silver that's already out of stock because people are actually at this moment stocking up on these precious metals because they're uncertain what's happening. They know exactly what I just told you about these Brics countries and the currency. And a lot of these people understand that the dollar is not really worth anything because we just keep printing it out. A lot of financially educated people are buying precious metals because, like I said, that will maintain your money. So if you want to maintain your money, that is one way you can do it. And there's one thing I don't want people to misunderstand, that gold is not an investment. Yes, it does go down and up, but it's not an investment. You're not buying gold to make money. Yes, sometimes if you buy gold, it might go up in a year or two. It does happen, but it's not meant to be an investment. It's meant to maintain your money, to keep your money safe, because like I said, it's accepted everywhere. So it's not an investment. It's to maintain the value of your money and to protect it. So just make sure you understand that, because I know some people buy silver and gold as an investment, but it's not an investment. It's just to maintain your wealth. So as long as you understand that, you'll be okay whether the price is up or down, because like I said, it holds your money, maintains it. But like I said, just do your own due diligence, do your own research. I'm gonna try my best. Obviously, all these podcasts to help you and help people be the best version of themselves. And obviously, like I said, one of those is being financially educated. And finances are very important to be the best version of yourself. And more now than ever, it's very important. Like I said, whatever you do with this information is totally up to you. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's up to you. If you want to do your own research, I support it. But like I said, a lot of things are happening right now in this world, and you need to see what's happening outside the United States, because these are very troubling times, and possibly the U.S. might not be the world power anymore, because we have the most fiercest army. That's why no one ever stood against us. But with all these countries coming together, with the Brics nations, they have a good military together. And you do need to realize that all these countries that are in the Brics nation, most of them have one common enemy, and that's the United States. And with China and Russia leading and being allies, that's a scary thought. Because those two countries, as of this moment, hate the United States. And you should think about that and be kind of worried, because that's very important. Because those are some of the most powerful countries, and they're getting other countries into their Brics nation, and it's not looking good for the United States. That's why I say you need to protect yourself and protect your wealth, because whatever happens in the next couple of years, you need to be prepared for it, no matter what happens. And this is not just to obviously fearmonger you, to get you scared or anything. It's for you to protect yourself and be secured on whatever happens, and for you to be ready. And it's very important now, because you're not going to hear that in the news. So you always have to protect yourself and make sure you're ready for whatever happens. Because like I said, right now, we live in some crazy times. And your goal is, if you listen to this podcast, obviously to change your mindset. Because if you do what everyone else is doing right now, you're going to be left behind. And when everything does, and if it does happen, you're going to be in for a surprise. And I don't want you to be those people. I want you to be ready and be prepared. No, like I always say, change your mindset to change your life. And I will always stand behind that, because you will change your life if you change your mindset. I appreciate you as always listening to this podcast, taking time out of your day to listen to this. I hope it was beneficial to you. I hope you understand what's going on and you prepare yourself. Like I said, I appreciate it. I appreciate it if you also can subscribe on whatever platform you are. Obviously, it would help with the algorithm to reach more people. And if you could share to other people, it would help a lot, because I know these type of messages do get suppressed, unfortunately, because they don't want them getting out. They want you to be the best version of yourself. And it's unfortunate. So I'd appreciate it if you do share with other people. Obviously, to help more and more others, can reach more people, help them be the best version of themselves, and to prepare for whatever does come. I have a Patreon link below if you'd like to support this podcast. I'd appreciate it. It does help, obviously, growing this podcast and making it better quality for you. And like I said, I'm going to continue to make these podcasts every single week to obviously help people, and hopefully they are beneficial. And I appreciate it as always. Thank you guys again. Be safe and take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Change Your Mindset podcast. Be sure to tune in every week for a new episode. As always, change your mindset to change your life.